In fact, I'm going to invoke. I believe you tweeted
Oh
that
no!
you can't wait to see Bottas stuffing it into turn one.
So I watched it quite late, didn't I? I was at a birthday meal, and I tweeted as I came back home. I was like, can't wait for Bottas to stuff it into turn one and ruin his race chances. And it wasn't quite lap one, but
he did do it. I mean,
the
the engine problem that he had might have happened anyway, so maybe it didn't make a huge difference. But yeah, it was a huge lockup as well, and it's not the kind of mistake that you see someone like Hamilton make. You're fighting Lewis Hamilton. You've got to be as consistent, at least as consistent as he is.
Yes,
at least as consistent as Lewis Hamilton, maybe the most consistent Formula One driver that we've ever seen. Obviously aided by some pretty incredible machinery. Pretty incredible that it doesn't fail like Bottas's does, but hard to say why that happens. So he has this huge lockup. He loses the lead to Hamilton shortly after as a result. Nearly missed on the live broadcast. They were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, Hamilton's now taken P1."
I've got this wrote down. I was like, race director, why in the world did we not see this happen live? I mean, there's got to be a camera feed constantly on turn one, and then if two Mercedes are going into turn one pretty close, that's usually a reason they cut to it. But I mean, Bottas locked up, and then about 15 seconds later, Hamilton got the lead. So it wasn't even like, okay, maybe not 15 seconds, maybe 10 seconds, but it wasn't like they didn't have enough chance to react. And they just cut straight to it. Oh, by the way, Hamilton's got the lead now. Oh, okay. How did this happen?
Yeah, we had to kind of come back to that and see what was going on.
Absolutely.
And we also had to sort of cut back to, with surprise, to what happened later on with Bottas as he reported that he was losing power. This was about lap 18. Because we saw Perez just kind of easily going past him. And it was like, oh, what's going on here? So he had some kind of deployment issue. I think he was down about 160 horsepower because of something.
It's the ERS, isn't it?
Was it ERS, was it? Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I believe so.
So he just, obviously they lost so much power that they had to retire him. And that's just, he had that huge lockup and he's got to do better than that when fighting Hamilton. Maybe that would have happened anyway. But a real shame for him, not what he would have wanted. He would have at least been second or third in the end.
And that's what he needs to be at the moment, because he's come off a good weekend. You know, Hamilton got that 10-second
his race pace was generally
Russia.
Pretty good.
Yes, and he could have fought for that win. And I thought, actually, he won last weekend, got a handful of points over Hamilton. If he wins this weekend, he'll again gain a couple of points over Hamilton. We could see a Bottas comeback. And taking the retirement aside, but locking up that deep into turn one. And it wasn't just a scuff. That was I'm going to lock up my front right, I believe it was, or front left.
Yeah, it was a massive lockup. It was massive.
And he held that lockup all the way into the corner. So he didn't actually box straight afterwards, which is interestingly enough. But blimey, yeah, not a mistake. Not something you want to be happening when you're trying to fight a 6-time world champion for position.
Is that his first DNF of the season? I think it is, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And it's a shame. I hate to see drivers go out on a technical issue. We saw the same with Lando and with Albon. But we'll touch on that later on. I think
constructors sport as well, isn't it? You gotta
exactly.
And you gotta build a car and an engine that lasts.
But it was a shame when Hamilton lost it to Rosberg a couple of times, and reliability wasn't Mercedes' forte. It's weird when you say that actually Mercedes had issues with reliability 4 years ago.
Still not completely unheard of. They're not totally infallible.
They're not invincible, are they? So it was a shame, but yeah, that turn one incident did not help his case whatsoever.